Greetings petrolheads, my name is Tom, you're on my gaming channel, and today I'm playing another episode of Automation, a car company tycoon game. And today, depending on how you see it, I'm gonna build 1, 2 or even 3 if you like to see it that way, replicas. In the end it's gonna be one car with its original engine and another engine from a different real world car. Shh, Donovan, don't say anything. Don't spoil it. What I'm going to do is build a Nissan S15 Silvia with its own engine, the SR20 DET, and another engine for it, which, again, please don't spoil it. It's gonna be a surprise for now. It's gonna be a secret for now. Anyway, basically, I know I've done an S15 already on my channel in episode 8, and you can go watch that. It's a pretty, it's a very easy design to do in this game, because this body shell is basically already, made for it. With that, I'm gonna assume that it has a steel, but galvanized steel or just regular steel. I know that Japanese cars are usually not built, at least in that era, not built with corrosion resistant steel materials, because there's no rust in Japan, because they don't have winters with snow like us do. At least in the majority of Japan that's the case. So I'm just gonna build it with regular steel, then longitudinal engine placement. Here's the thing, I don't know. I know that McPherson's front and multi-link rear used to be very popular in this area, in this era, excuse me. But I don't know if this particular car had that setup as well. And then for the panels, steel again? Pretty much, I mean. So this is the Nissan Silvia S15. Now for the headlights. Wait, what? Oh, okay, I see. For the headlights, we will go for a set of V's. Which is already pretty close to how the real Silvia's headlights look, but I'm gonna make it even a little bit closer to the real one by also adding. Now, if I could just find them. No, those are not the ones. Not these either. These ones, I think. I think that's what I did in the aforementioned episode number 8 on my channel as well, for the headlights. So go with this. Yeah, this is pretty much it. Alrighty. What else we got on this front end? We got a number plate that sits like right here. We got a lip. And we got a grill, which is basically, wait, what's this? Okay, I haven't seen that before. Fine. It must be new then. The grill is basically this. How far does it go? Like this. And then this goes further up. And then we also got some vents on the side. Basically these ones. But they're lower down. Excuse me. Yeah. More like here. Are they bigger than this? Yeah, they are. And actually the grill is a little bit smaller. The grill is like this. And these are a little bit bigger. And a little bit longer. And then, oh yeah, well, they're not longer, instead they're further on the side, like here. And then we also got some fog lights in there, which are pretty much these. Don't we have like a more rounded version of this somewhere in this collection of fixtures? This just doesn't work because one end is way thicker than the other. It would look absolutely terrible. Other than that, I don't think we do actually have something that, oh yeah, this is not something we need here. We might need it on another car though. So then let's move on to the side, where basically all we have, aside from the indicators, which are like here, is the door handles. And the door handles are pretty much these. No, actually not. The door handles are more like these. And then on the rear, you know the drill. We already have these in the game. If you haven't noticed them, if you've played the game before and you've not noticed these taillights before, well, I don't know what you were doing. Where did they go? Like there, or? They're a little bit taller and a little bit shorter. Actually, no, not shorter, but tall. More like this. And then we have the Nissan badge about here. We got a wing. Let's see. Wait, what? Oh, that is a WRX wing. What is this? That one. That is pretty similar to the original S15's wing, I think. And then is this Is this a stock one or is this modified one? It's so hard to find pictures of a stock S15. And it's even harder to find, you know, a car like a stock S15 if you want to buy one. In the entirety of Austria, there is currently one Silvia S15 for sale. And guess what? It's not stock. It's also very low mileage. It costs 12,000 bucks. And it's already tuned. Like, not only aesthetically, also the engine, the turbo has been tuned and all that. And you know, it's not really what I want. Then, if I was gonna buy an S15, I would definitely mod it, but in my very own way. And that includes a different engine, which is actually the one I'm going to build later on. So this is going to be pretty much the, well, let's call it stock. Just make sure I don't make a typo. This is the stock S15 then. Oh, yeah, well, now it is. What color are we gonna make it? Yellow. More like this. Actually, I don't like the way the taillights look as of right now. More like this. And adapt it. There we go, it's rear-wheel drive. And we're gonna build the engine now. It is an inline-4 with, I don't know, is the block material actually cast iron? Or is it aluminium just like the head? Because I know that the head is aluminium. And I know for sure that it's 86 by 86 bore stroke. It's got dual overhead cams with 4 valves per cylinder and an aluminium head, but I'm not sure about the block material. I know that the Skyline R34 had a cast iron block and aluminium head, so I'm gonna assume that this is the case for this engine as well. So this is the Nissan SR20, and this is obviously going to be the DET version of it. SR20 DET. Crank is probably cast iron. Then this is probably I-beam steel, because it does rev pretty high, about 7,000 RPM, maybe 7,200 or so. I don't think it's 7,200. And then probably forged pistons for that purpose as well. Now the compression ratio, I got this here. The compression ratio is 9.5 to 1. So we're gonna need a pretty aggressive cam profile to make do with that. Does it have variable valve timing? I don't know. Probably though. I even got, now here's the thing, it's got ball bearing. Is it an air-to-air or a water-to-air? Not, or a water-to-air intercooler? I don't have that info, but what I do have here is, okay, the turbine is 53.8 millimeters. 53 point, well, 54 is closer. And then the compressor is 60 millimeter, and the AR ratio is 0.64. I'm not sure what we're gonna get with this on this engine though. What's the boost? 7 psi, whatever that means. I should probably go back to the options menu and change and see what it and actually change it into psi here. But I can do that a little bit later. Now it does have multi-point fuel injection. Or is it single point? It does have fuel injection, like that is for sure, but is it single point or? Probably a multi-point. Running on regular fuel, maybe? Probably a pretty rich fuel mixture here. And then let's go for like 80 on the ignition timing. You want to rev this to about 7,000 RPM. Show cast, because we don't have anything else here. And we're knocking. Let's go with this then, which didn't really help. Let's make this run richer and increase the cam profile. You know what? Let's run this on super. Oh, 242. Now what we need is to make the power earlier, and we need more of it. I should probably sign out of Steam. Give me a second here. And I'm back. So actually 7 psi is really low boost. Like that. Well, wait a minute. How am I supposed to make 250 horsepower if I only 250 horsepower at what? 6,500 RPM and 300 Newton meters at 4,800 RPM with this little boost? How in the world? I have to increase the turbine size. So it has the turbine on this engine has a maximum size of 62 millimeters, which didn't help very much. How do you do this? When it even richer, yeah, it gives me 3 more horsepower. Fantastic. I have to up the compression and I have to lower the cam profile. And I have to give it more boost. Like I can't even. Now I don't know how much boost I'm running anymore. $222. Let's get this back down. Like 55. What do we do? 225 horsepower. We're already running really rich. Performance intake? Oh, 1 more horsepower. Fantastic. Throttle per cylinder will reduce torque output and give us 4 more horsepower. It'll also, oh, it did have individual throttle bodies, which is what throttle per cylinder, like that's a different word for that, I guess. So I'm gonna go with this anyway. Increase this by a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna decrease this some more. The boost, 10 psi. There we go. Now increase this. Doesn't really seem to help that much, especially with our torque output. I think I'm gonna have to increase the boost by quite a bit. That is probably a little bit too much because of the torque output I'm making. Oh wait, let's decrease the compressor size here a little bit, so that actually gives us more power. All I want right now is to make the power earlier, which just doesn't seem to happen. Now we got 250 horsepower, we got a little bit more torque than we want, but we're making the power too late. That is a little bit of a problem. What if we do this? Doesn't help. Can we even get the power at 6500 RPM? Yeah, with like 35 cam profile. Actually, how much power are we gonna make it then? 210? No. Let's just keep it as is, be happy with it, and move on. So that's what it sounds like. It has a 6-speed manual gearbox. What does it have to have? Yeah, it's a 6-speed manual. Good. It also has a differential, but what kind of differential? A helical slip differential, whatever that means. All the other like that was the Spec R version, which I guess I'm building now. Whereas all the other S15 models had a viscous LSD. So since the next step up from a viscous is the geared LSD here, I'm gonna choose that. The top speed was about 250, I think. What tires was it running? I mean, that's not really the biggest concern here. 235s, I don't think it was running tires much wider than that. What, can we not put anything wider than 175s up front? Really? I'm pretty sure it had wider front tires than this. So let's go back. Does it have now? 215s. Yeah, 215s front, 235s rear. Seems pretty realistic. Probably alloy wheels, 17s. Four piston front. Excuse me. So it has 4 pistons up front as far as brakes go, but yeah, well, it's probably got vented discs. I don't know the diameter of them though. And let's go for solid discs on the rear end. Excuse me. Stupid allergy. Anyway, semi-clad on the tray probably. I don't know about the wing angles, I'm just gonna leave them the same. Don't really think it has brake airflow. There is the thing. I don't know. Does it have 2 seats or 4 seats? Never really seen that. Like, I never really looked up that spec. Does it have 2 or 4 seats or even 5? Wait, give me a second. I might be able to find out. So it's only got 2 seats, with what I think is pretty much standard interior and basic entertainment. No, I think it must have had a CD player. It did not have traction control as far as I know, or stability control. And then 90 safety, standard 90 safety, progressive springs, gas monotube, and then passive, then a sport setup. So there goes that. 1284, I think that's a little bit too heavy actually. Let's see what's the weight distribution. That's pretty fine. 5.7 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers now is also pretty good. Yeah. So now I'm gonna clone this. And make a new engine family. It's gonna be a V8. It is aluminium. It has 94/89 bore and stroke ratio. By 84. No, by 89. There we go. Dual overhead cams, 4 valves per cylinder, aluminium head. VVLs, some sort of it at least. And some of you might already be able to guess what it is now. It does rev decently high. So let's see, we might even go for lightweight forged pistons. It definitely has some quality in here. We're gonna go pretty aggressive on the cam profile. Wait, what? Oh, cam VVL profile. Let's go for something moderately aggressive like 65. VVT on all cams, because this is well, at this point I might as well say it. It is. I might as well say what it is after saying that this engine has a system similar to VTEC, and obviously what comes to mind when you look at V8s, it's probably gonna be a BMW, isn't it? So, and it is, in fact, it is. This is the BMW M62 M62 series, and this is the S62 engine found in the BMW M5 from that year. That's right. That is what I would do with the Silvia if I had one. I would put the V8 from the M5 in there. Yes, that's right. So it does have multi-point injection, 4 per cylinder, and a performance intake. Probably runs on super if I had to guess, and pretty rich as well. The ignition timing is about 70, I guess, and then the rev limit is 7,000. We definitely have. Oh yeah, I did put some quality in there already. Long turbo exhaust. We need to make 400 horsepower. Oh, and we're actually making way more, but we need more torque as well. So we're gonna lower the cam profile. Oh, we're gonna lower the BVL profile. Oh, just remove VVL all the way. Is this maybe just a VVT on both the intake and outlet kind of system? So we wanna make the 400 horsepower at 6600 RPM. Oh yeah, we need to increase compression ratio by a lot. And now we can decrease this some more. 403. 400. There we go. The torque is 500 Newton meters at 3800 RPM. So what we could do is increase the fuel mixture. Now it's running rich. Yeah, increase the compression some more, and then decrease the cam profile. Not making enough power anymore now. I'm not making enough torque. How could this be? Is this too big? No, it's too small. It almost makes the required amount of torque. Well, if we oh, that's so close. I'm gonna go with this. Let's listen to this beauty. You know, I live in a very, very small village currently, outside of town on the countryside, and I know everyone around, and they know I drive a Golf diesel. And then one day, I can promise you, I'm gonna turn up with an S15 Silvia with this engine in it, and they say, "Oh, nice, you got a new car. How much horsepower it's got?" And then I say 400, and then they're gonna be like, "Haha, you're joking." And then I say, "Well, come on with me, let me show you." And then I just start the engine and start doing a little bit of this. and then they're gonna say, what the heck, what is that car? And then I'm gonna say, well, it's one that you can't just buy like that. I worked on it. It's a V8 Nissan Silvia. There we go. And apparently it's gonna go over 300 kilometers an hour. Awesome. Drivability and spoilers are both at 30, which is not that bad. Oh, will it do over 300? It won't. But since I will fit a different body kit, it should make it a little bit more aerodynamic. So there we have the 300 kilometers an hour. And I would most definitely also go for wider tires. Like, if you're gonna put a V8 in there with 400 horsepower where you previously only had 250, you should probably consider upgrading your tires as well. If I had to guess, at the very least 255s. The brakes are not holding it down anymore, so let's go for bigger ones there as well. The fronts are not causing the fade. The rears are. 310 is. I mean, we still got a little bit of fade. Let's go for 3 pistons. That makes it worse. That makes it even worse. And the discs. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna replace this. What did we have there before? 270s? Yeah, I'm just gonna replace the solid discs with vented ones. That should work, in my mind. Yeah. So in the end, we get a car that makes 400 horsepower, goes as well as 300 kilometers an hour. And we'll do the quarter mile in 12.8 seconds. Alrighty, so now we know about my plans. This is obviously only something I would do if I had, you know, like 20 grand at my disposal, because Silvias in Austria, or generally speaking in Central Europe, are very, very rare, and therefore they're also oftentimes pretty expensive. Plus, you know, the engine from an N5 has always been and probably will always be kind of expensive as well. And so if I'm not gonna make that happen, well, you know, then I'm just gonna buy a regular old BMW or something, which would also make me happy, but probably not as happy as this. So, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button, it helps out a great deal. Subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.